Have you ever stopped to wonder what it really takes? I mean, going from being, say, the top student in a small town to studying somewhere like Tsinghua, a really prestigious university, and then eventually, landing at a place like the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into one person's extraordinary journey. Her name's Chelsea, and her story it's really a masterclass in resilience, self-discovery, and maybe most importantly, mindset.
Yeah, exactly. We've taken a close look at a really revealing interview she gave. She talks very openly about her path, the academic shifts, the career changes, the intense pressure she was under, and some pretty profound psychological lessons she picked up along the way. It's quite a story.
Right. So our mission here is to unpack that, to pull out the core insights. How do you navigate those unexpected turns life throws at you? How do you maybe redefine success for yourself? And crucially, how do you actually affirm your own effort, regardless of where you started or where you think you're going? Get ready for some real aha moments, I think, about inner strength. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Chelsea's background, she's from Chongqing, top student, small-town roots, but in a very competitive key class. It's like a special program for high achievers at a top high school there. She even described herself as, like, the most obedient and best-performing girl. But she also admitted, kind of intriguingly, to having this inner rebellious spirit underneath it all. And, despite being so smart, she mentioned feeling the significant gap, a bit self-conscious, maybe out of place, especially compared to her peers who grew up in the city.
Right.
She talked about her high school math teacher, for example, just jumping straight into, advanced competition-level problems, never really covering the basics. That sounds like a pretty sharp transition.
Oh, absolutely. And what's fascinating, I think, is how that initial self-doubt, that feeling of being behind, it seemed to fuel this intense effort. She just dove headfirst into her studies, really dedicated. And it led to this pretty surprising achievement, right? Scoring a number one.
Number one,
in her entire grade on the very first big school-wide exam.
And not just number one. It was like a 30-plus point lead over the person in second place.
Exactly. It really shows how that early insecurity kind of flipped into this powerful motivator.
But here's where it gets really human, I think.
Right.
Even with this incredible academic success.
Right.
She wasn't just, a study robot. She called high school the happiest 3 years of her life. And she was really open about having a boyfriend the whole time. And she admitted her grades actually fluctuated because of it. Sometimes top 10, sometimes dropping to around 50th.
Right. It's a good reminder, isn't it? Even the absolute top students are dealing with real life, balancing pressures, ups and downs.
Totally. And that balancing act, it kind of culminates in this real crisis moment. Just before the Gaokao, that's the huge national college entrance exam in China, super high stakes.
The pressure is immense.
Right. And just a month before, her score on a mock exam just plummeted down to 200th in her grade.
Wow. From number one initially to 200. That's a shock.
A massive shock. And you have to wonder, how do you even cope with that?
Especially with that kind of pressure. And she mentioned feeling quite isolated, right? Living alone in a rented place, her mom was panicking too, not really able to offer much support.
Exactly. No clear reason for the drop, no real external support system at that moment. So what did she do? Instead of getting stuck on the why or looking for comfort outside, her coping strategy was really internal and, well, quite powerful.
What was it?
She focused on just one single question every day. Did I do my best today?
Simple but profound.
Yeah. And that allowed her to basically accept whatever outcome came her way. She felt she'd have no regrets because she knew internally she put in 120% effort.
So if she gave her absolute all, the result was almost secondary.
Kind of. It was acceptable, whatever it was. It makes you think, doesn't it? How often do we get completely fixated on the outcome and maybe lose sight of the process, our own commitment?
Yeah, that focus on process over results, especially under pressure, that's a huge lesson.
It really is.
Yeah.
A way to find some peace when everything feels overwhelming. Okay, so she gets through that, navigates the Gaokao, and lands at Tsinghua University of Life. She expected architecture to be different, sure, but not this different. She described her first 3 years there as, and this is a direct quote, 10 times harder than high school.
10 times harder. And you start to see why when you understand the clash. She went into what she thought was a very STEM-focused architecture program. Technical, rigorous.
Right.
But in practice, it operated much more like a studio arts model. Heavy emphasis on design, artistic skill.
Things she had almost zero background in.
Exactly. She said she felt like she needed to catch up on, 18 years of other people's experience in just 1 year. And she quickly realized that was very, very hard. Imagine that whiplash, going from top of the class to feeling like a complete beginner.
Yeah, and this is where her psychological insights get really interesting, I think, because she identified herself as a lifelong top student, always expected to do well.
Right.
And because of that, she realized she had this major issue. She believed doing well was just expected, an obligation almost.
Right.
So when she achieved things, even through massive effort and overcoming difficulty,
You're going to feel happy about it.
exactly, she felt she didn't deserve happiness for something she felt she should have achieved anyway.
Wow, that's a heavy burden to carry.
Isn't it? And after struggling with this for years, she came to this really powerful, self-affirming conclusion for herself. She told herself, I deserve to be happy.
I deserve to be happy. That hits hard. And it's not just her, is it? That's a struggle many high achievers face.
Absolutely. It feels almost universal in certain contexts.
Yeah, if we zoom out a bit, you see this pattern in many high-pressure educational systems, traditional environments. Her whole university experience, even with the struggles, it ended up being incredibly important for her personal growth.
Oh, so?
She stressed that it taught her how to adjust her mindset, how to cope when she wasn't the best, when she was in a different tier, as she put it, and crucially, how to keep pursuing what she wanted anyway.
Okay.
She made this really insightful distinction. She says that the experience was about maturing a person, Shangrenda, not just preparing someone for a career, Shangjede.
Maturing a person, not just building a career.
Yeah.
It's a really key distinction.
It is. It's about that holistic personal development being maybe more valuable long-term than just the technical skills. Learning how to be, not just how to do.
That makes a lot of sense. And she also touched on her competitive side, right? Initially, she didn't want to be second rate at anything, always aiming for the absolute top, even within a small niche.
That drive was still there.
But later, she kind of realized that intense must be the best drive wasn't always necessary or even healthy.
Right, a moderation of that initial competitiveness.
Yeah. I mean, it makes you reflect, you know. For anyone listening, how do you balance your own efforts with your expectations, especially when things don't go in a straight line or when you land in a field that challenges your whole idea of what success even looks like?
That's a great question to ponder.
So after wrestling with these challenges at Tsinghua, Chelsea reaches another crossroads, her master's degree. And her path takes another interesting turn here, but it's still connected.
Okay.
She didn't ditch architecture altogether. Instead, she pivoted within the field. She shifted focus from architectural design.
The studio arts part she struggled with.
Exactly, to architectural history.
Architectural history. Okay, so what does that actually involve? It sounds niche.
Well, she explained it by referencing figures like Liang Sicheng and Lin Huiyan.
Oh, the pioneers of modern Chinese architectural history.
Right. They famously studied ancient building manuals like the Yingzhou Fashi from the Song Dynasty, which was basically like ancient engineering project management.
Fascinating. So it's quite technical in some ways.
Yeah, and that's the interesting part. She pointed out that in China, architectural history is often viewed almost like tech history.
Whereas in the West.
It's more closely tied to art history. So it ends up being this really cool interdisciplinary blend, engineering, design, art, history.
Ah, I see. So that broadness appealed to her.
Definitely. She said that interdisciplinary nature was a key reason she never regretted studying architecture, despite the tough times. It gave her a wide lens.
That makes sense. So where is she now with all this?
Well, currently she's a PhD student. Her field is cultural heritage preservation, and she's actually working at the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
At the Met. Wow. Doing what?
She mentioned doing classifications, that kind of detailed work. She says she has quite a bit of freedom in her day-to-day schedule, sleeps in, works late sometimes.
Academic life.
Pretty much. But she also acknowledges there's still high academic pressure with the PhD itself.
Of course. Now, looking back on this whole winding path, how does she feel about the choices she made? Any regrets?
It's quite striking, actually. She said very clearly that if she had to do it all over again, given the knowledge she had at each specific moment she made a decision, she would make the exact same choices for her career path.
The exact same choice.
Yeah. She emphasized there is no other way, meaning her past self made the best possible decisions with the information and perspective available then.
That's a powerful statement of acceptance, isn't it? No second guessing based on hindsight.
It really is. Although, she did add one little caveat.
Oh.
On a very relatable human level, she admitted that if she did have a time machine,
Yes.
she might make some different choices in her romantic life.
Ah. Okay, well that adds a touch of realism.
Doesn't it? It's a reminder that while we can rationalize our professional paths, personal life choices sometimes carry different kinds of reflection.
True. It speaks to how we make decisions at those crucial points, right? Our current self always reframes the past, but acknowledging that maybe personal evolution feels different.
Exactly. Evolution, maybe a little regret, especially personally, it's all part of the journey. So let's bring it back to that core lesson about mindset.
Mm.
Chelsea's insight about lifelong top students struggling to feel joy because success feels like an obligation.
Yeah.
That really sticks with me.
Hmm.
And her powerful declaration, I deserve to be happy. It wasn't about someone else granting permission.
No, it was internal, self-permission.
Right. How broadly do you think this idea applies, this need for self-affirmation? Is it just for high achievers?
Oh, I think it's universal, really. You see this mindset fostered in lots of traditional high-pressure systems, sure, but the need for self-affirmation, that's human. It highlights that crucial idea. You have to affirm yourself.
You have to affirm yourself.
Yeah, external praise, validation from others, it only goes so far. True peace, that sense of worth, it has to come from within. It's about recognizing your own efforts, your own value, separate from any external rewards or judgments.
And her message to her younger self, if she could go back, it was so moving.
What did she say?
She said she'd tell her younger self, thank you. Thank myself for being so hardworking, so focused.
Wow.
And then everything will be okay. Everything will be good.
That's beautiful. It's self-compassion, acknowledging the struggle, and offering reassurance.
It really is. Acknowledging the incredible effort she put in on that tough journey. So as you, listening, reflect on Chelsea's story, her internal transformation, maybe think about what message would you send to your younger self, knowing what you know now, especially about your own efforts and maybe about deserving happiness. Well, that was a really fascinating deep dive into Chelsea's journey, from being that top student in a small town through the pressures of Tsinghua to navigating the world of cultural heritage at the Met. Her story really underscores that success isn't just about ticking boxes or reaching goals, is it?
Not at all. It's so much about that profound internal shift, that change in mindset that lets you actually value your own efforts and affirm your own worth.
We saw how she faced insecurity head-on, how she handled those unexpected setbacks like the exam score drop.
And how she redefined her path multiple times, all while learning that really essential lesson about deserving her own happiness.
And realizing that personal growth, becoming that mature person, can actually outweigh specific career milestones sometimes.
Absolutely. It's a powerful prompt for all of us, I think, to maybe reconsider what success truly looks like for ourselves.
So let's leave you with a final thought to chew on. What does it truly mean to do your best? Not just aiming for a specific outcome, but doing your best for your own, peace of mind, for your own self-worth.
Yeah, and following on that, how can really recognizing and affirming your own efforts, whether other people notice or not, how can that empower you to navigate all the inevitable ups and downs of life with maybe a deeper sense of fulfillment?